Hello, welcome to this month's edition of Our Kids Today. My name is Rick Hess. I'm the CEO of Pasco Kids First, and we're happy to be with you today. Happy you're with us. Today we have a special treat for you. We have Monica Rousseau, who's the coordinator for the Alliance for Substance Abuse Prevention in Pasco County, better known as ASAP. And Monica, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So we want to talk a little bit about substance abuse today and what's going on. Maybe touch a little bit about the opioid crisis and how that's progressing or not. And so Monica, just tell us a little bit about ASAP and what the mission is and how you guys go about doing what you do.
So ASAP is a community group. So first and foremost, we don't actually offer any services. We are a community group that strategizes how to prevent addiction from ever happening and how can we create an environment in which people in recovery can thrive and avoid relapse. So what that means a lot of the time is how do we create community solutions and interventions with all of our community partners. So we have people in law enforcement, parents, teachers, health professionals, you name it, all of these different peoples from different sectors coming to the table to talk about a problem and come up with a solution specific to Pasco.
And I've been obviously attending ASAP meetings for a while, and what I find really interesting is that it's such a striking mix of people, a very vibrant mix of people around the table who really have a lot to say about substance abuse and that type of thing.
And it's important having all of those different perspectives, so
Right.
if when we had the spice epidemic,
Yes.
we bring all of these different people together who know a little bit of a different version of the same truth. And we were able to come up with a really good ordinance with the Pasco Sheriff's Office that then became a model for other cities and municipalities around the state. So
Talk a little bit about the cooperation that ASAP has received with from the Sheriff's Office.
Oh, they're great. From spice epidemic to now the opioid crisis, we work hand in hand with them. We work really closely with Newport Richey Police Department as well. Again, ASAP is all voluntary. So all these people coming together are not paid by any funds that ASAP receives.
Right.
It's up to the agencies that they might represent, or they're volunteering their own time. So the Sheriff's Office, dedicates quite a few different people to our initiative. So we have people from the Sheriff's Office who engage with our Alcohol Initiatives Committee or our RX Committee. So we're very fortunate to have good buy-in from our community leaders.
I know one of the current issues that we talk about often is the opioid crisis.
Right.
Talk a little bit about the connection with ASAP with that.
The collaboration with ASAP is so important because we know things just based on this collaboration before any data can tell us. So we know years before we see hard numbers that we have a bubbling problem. We know that because nurses are telling us in the ERs what they're seeing. We know it because parents are telling us what they're seeing in schools. So we know these things and we're able to prep a little bit. Yep. So we've known that just because we got rid of the pill mills didn't mean that we got rid of the addiction. We know that people who are struggling with addiction have switched to intravenous drug use.
Yes.
Sometimes it is heroin. In Pasco, a lot of the times it is meth. So we have seen a very interesting shift to meth. The end story is people are very addicted. Hepatitis C is rising. We're expecting HIV to rise as well. So that's kind of where we are with that. We do have unfortunate numbers of people who are passing away from opioids, but we also have really great solutions to try and make sure that we stem that tide and make sure that people get into recovery and live well.
And there are treatment providers that are around the table at ASAP.
Absolutely. We have for-profit detoxes, not-for-profit hospital systems. So we have a lot of different resources. And probably one of the hardest things for communities to understand and figure out is how do we find the best treatment option for patients. And when you have all these community members coming together and you start to learn all the different options, it then becomes easier to find the right treatment path for your loved one or your patient.
How do people from the community get involved with ASAP?
Oh, well, I hope they do. Please do. We're completely voluntary, so we rely on volunteers to implement all of our initiatives. We have monthly meetings that are open to the public. They are on the fourth Tuesday of every month from 10 to 12 at the Land O'Lakes Community Center. I always have donuts, so if not to get really involved in something that's important, come for the donuts and just hang out with us. Community change is a huge process.
Right.
I spend forever looking at data, and then we discuss the data as a group, and we create evidence-based but community-tailored strategies to resolve some of those issues. And we have to evaluate the data, and then we start all over. So it's a very action-oriented group.
And you guys always do a great job in bringing people in to spotlight a particular program or that type of thing every month. So it's always educational as well.
Yeah.
The website for ASAP is
www.pascoasap.com, and right now what's being featured on the website is where you can dispose of your unused or expired medications. So a lot of people in the community know better than to throw their medications away or flush them down the toilet. Good job, please don't do that. That's very bad.
Right.
But a lot of people still don't know what to do with their expired medications, and unfortunately your medicine cabinet is a high risk place. Right now, when we're looking at the opioid epidemic, newly addicted people who are just becoming addicted, go to other people's medicine cabinets to get their pills. So if you have expired medications, it is very possible that someone could divert some of your medications for their need. So we're really encouraging people to monitor their medications and dispose of them. So we have 7 drop-off sites in Pasco County. We are working on getting more, and our website shows you exactly where they are, what time they are open. You take your medications, dispose of them, no questions asked, no big deal.
You also brought with you another unique solution.
I do, because drop boxes are a little tricky to get in our community. We have invested in DoTERRA Bags. So these are a lot easier if you have limitations to where you can drive, or if you live, in the middle of the county and, don't want to drive that far. We do have DoTERRA Bags. So DoTERRA Bags deactivate the medications you put in them. So it's carbon-based and carbon-lined. So in this bag, you can put in 90 pills or your liquids. You just add a little bit of water and seal it, and then wait a few seconds and throw it in the trash.
So there are lots of solutions for disposing appropriately of your medicines in the medicine cabinet. And people that go into homes, we have to think about not just people who are living in the homes, right, but people that are coming into our homes as well.
Absolutely. And I get that question a lot. Well, I don't know anybody who's struggling with an addiction. And to which point you really have to question your assertion there, because that might not be true. I mean, the opioid crisis has affected every single population, so the chances of us knowing someone is actually really high, whether that be a neighbor, whether that be a family member. Chances are you actually do. And another thing that I didn't touch on, just as important as getting rid of it for the opioid crisis reason, we are seeing record high numbers of kids ages 10 to 19 attempting suicide with pills.
Because we do know, we were talking about this on the way up, that kids in that 10 to 19 age range act impulsively sometimes. They may not be intending to do something that actually ends their life, but that's unfortunately a tragic result sometimes.
Right, so we're seeing them attempting but not completing. Yeah. A big difference between adults and kids is that kids will act very quickly, so they use whatever method that they have access to. So we'll see a lot of kids going to the ER because of acetaminophen poisoning, essentially too much Tylenol. Now they have a lot of complications with their liver because of just too much Tylenol. Yeah. So it is very impulsive. If there isn't a means, chances are there might not be a way for them that day, and they might forget about it the next day.
Monica, thank you for being with us today. Thank you for being with us today. Glad you've been a part of this edition of Our Kids Today. Again, my name's Rick Hess. I'm the CEO of Pasco Kids First, and our website, where you can always get more information, is pascokidsfirst.org. And the ASAP website again,
www.pascoasap.com.
Thanks for being with us today.